Welcome everybody down live in the next arena for StarCraft 2 Pro League. My name is Valdez. Joining with me today is Moonblade. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastically as always, Valdez. So excited for today. The round 1 finals is here. SKT1 against Jin Air. Couldn't ask for a better match.
I'm so excited, man, especially to be back here casting these finals, and we have so many people in the arena today for the finals, specifically coming down to watch SK Telecom T1 versus the Jin Air Green Wings. These two teams have made it all the way. SK Telecom T1 with an incredible round 1 performance, whereas Jin Air Green Wings, they got a bye, I guess, in the Browns Challenger match against StarTale-yoe.
You know, that does come into play, but I still think they would have made it here nonetheless.
Yeah.
They're looking absolutely a beast right now. They have such a good lineup, and it's going to be really interesting how these teams collide.
It really will be, man. A lot of different matchups we're going to see today. A lot of thinking going to be going into which picks actually come out. But let's first take a look at both of these teams. Here is SK Telecom T1. They were, of course, first in the round 1 regular season, and so they haven't had to play any games here in the playoffs until today.
Yeah, they've got to hide a lot of their strategies, a lot of their plays for this week. And here's Jin Air Green Wings coming out in force today. They got 8 members there, I believe. So obviously bringing more members the better. Kind of makes it a little bit harder to kind of predict who else is coming out. And there was Dream and Cure going to be starting off things today on Catallena.
Yeah, not too surprised to see two Terrans here coming out on Catallena. You were talking about a little bit before, maybe Jin Air Green Wings are trying to snipe Dark here on this map.
I think they might have. Looking at kind of the maps that come in order behind Catallena, and I mean, Cure, of all people, he's great at TVZ. His TVT hasn't really been proven in recent days, so I wonder if that was their intention coming into this, setting him out first, looking for that Dark pick, but unfortunately they missed him.
Yeah, he's going to have to go up against Dream, a guy who's able to take out Maru in a best-of-3 TVT. This guy has got very, very strong TVT, and not surprising that he does come out here on Catallena. Very thankfully, I guess, in his mind, coming up against a Terran. Would not be surprised to see this guy here on the left coming out here one time, at least a little bit later on for SK Telecom, if it even gets there.
If it even gets there. Dream is so dangerous right now. He is looking fantastic in TVZ and TVT, and I mean, most of the lineup of Jin Air is going to be a lot of Terrans and Zergs. I mean, they have some Protoss as well, but they haven't really been looking in shape as of recent times.
Yeah, I mean, SOS, you look towards that guy. Maybe he wants to come out against Zerg, but he's been very experimental, to say the least, in round 1 of Pro League. He's had a bunch of weird games on 2 bases going for every tech in the book, but still a very strong player, but we will have to get to that a little bit later on here. As you did mention before, it is Dream versus Cure here in game number 1 on Catallena. Then it's going to go into Overgrowth, Deadwing, Foxtrot Labs, King Sejong Station, Merry-Go-Round, and Catallena once again for the repeat map.
See, I can see why Jin Air might have thought a Zerg would be coming out here, because obviously Overgrowth is a follow-up map, and then Deadwing, so not horrible, not a bad choice to send a Zerg out now, but obviously it is Catallena as the first map, which is dangerous and very hard against Terran.
Yep, very true. Just getting another look here at the match's story. SK Telecom T1, they were in first place, pretty much crushing the competition in round 1, by and far the best team here in the first round, although Jin Air Green Wings is looking to take the title tonight. And I wouldn't count these guys out. You know, even in this first matchup, we do have Dream versus Cure. Both you and I did predict Dream to win this one, but Jin Air Green Wings, I mean, they've got Maru, one of the best Terrans in the world. He could definitely come out later and take a bunch of wins in a row. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about, right? There is some seriously dangerous players from Jin Air that can do a lot of damage in this kind of format. Maru being one of them. Rogue can make things happen, and Terminator can cause upsets.
That he can. And just taking a look at some more stats here, opponents' records. We do have 11 wins here for SK Telecom regular season matches. 6 wins here as well for Jin Air Green Wings. Not exactly sure where they're taking these stats from exactly. I guess over the past couple of years, maybe? Past 3 years?
Possibly. It's kind of hard to say sometimes as we look at these things. And there's a pie chart, Valdez. What's it all about?
Well, Innovation 6-0, that's pretty much the story of SK Telecom's round 1 here. He pretty much carried the team in terms of Terrans, especially. That's what we're looking at here right now. Dream did go 2-1, where Asari came out a couple of times. He did go 1-1. I'm not sure if we're going to see him tonight. He was kind of more of like an experimental player.
Yeah, he's kind of like a player you can throw out when you're a bit comfortable. Like, obviously, SKT had a lot of leeway towards the end of the season to throw out their newer players, their less experienced players. And here's a look at the Protoss, and you got Classic 2-1 and Billowy 0-1. So Classic carrying the way with the Protosses, but you know what? We have not seen much of Classic in a long time, ever since IEM Taipei, actually. He's been off the radar completely.
Yeah, that's very true. And taking a look here at the Zergs for SK Telecom T1, Dark kind of carrying the weight with 5 and 3. I feel like people almost expected him to do even a little bit better. You know, especially in recent times, he hasn't shown the best games over at GSL and even in Pro League as well. So I'm kind of scared for that guy if he does come out here. Not as sure exactly where he's at today.
Yeah.
But we may see him, and we may see Sue, the other Zerg there. Yeah. He was 2-1.
Hey, very possibly. Sue is in the house. He can come out today. And yeah, as you were saying, everyone had high hopes for Dark, but he just couldn't really get it done in recent times, especially in individual leagues. He has been dropping like a fly in this last week. It's just really been pretty surprising.
Yeah, it definitely has been. Myself being a Dark fan, a bit disappointed with that. But I can tell you one thing. Sue was getting his makeup on in the back room, so we may see him tonight. And here, just taking a look at map data, SK Telecom T1 definitely favoring Catallena and King Sejong Station. Also, like in Foxtrot Labs, they're 4-2 there, 3-1 on Deadwing. I guess their worst map here would be Merry-Go-Round, where they're -2.
Yeah, well, they do have pretty weak Zergs at this point, which can kind of come into play, especially on that map. And their Terrans, they should be able to handle that map if it comes to it.
Yeah, and look here at the Terrans actually for generic Green Wings. If you just take a look at only the stats for the first round of Pro League here, we do have Cure actually up there at 5-2 and Maru at 4-3. I'd say almost 99% of people would say Maru is kind of the ace player for Genair, especially on the Terran side of things. But Cure as well has been playing quite good.
Yeah, he's definitely been lifting this season. Absolutely. And here we go with Trap and SOS. Trap going 1-1. SOS 3-4. SOS not having the best round this time, which has kind of been pretty sad to see. No, it's definitely not in the form he was in last year, but still can be dangerous. And we did see him start against StarTale-yoe, so it looks like he might have kind of regained some confidence against Zerg.
Yeah, I actually really want to see that guy coming out here later if possible. But definitely Cure kind of picking up the slack where SOS was lacking this round for sure. And taking a look at Zergs for generic Green Wings, only Rogue. It's the only one they've played the entire round. They haven't tested anyone else out.
No symbol on the radar, that's for sure. Yeah. I doubt we'll be seeing him today either.
Well, taking a look at some map stats here, guys. We do have Catallena by and far being the best map. Well, I guess it does tie there with Merry-Go-Round, 4-1 for both. And I guess King Sejong Station there being their worst map, 2-3. What do you think about these stats, Moonglade?
Well, Catallena, obviously, fantastic map. They have very strong Terrans, which obviously Maru has been doing a lot of work on that map, as well as Merry-Go-Round. So it kind of makes sense. Foxtrot Labs also up there. It's definitely playing to their strengths in their races, obviously, for Genair. Mostly being, I'd have to say, Maru. And King Sejong, SOS came out maybe once or twice and kind of let the team down there.
I think he took a couple losses on that map for sure. Well, guys, we do have the rankings here for round 1, and that coincides with some points. These do go towards the ending playoffs of the end of Pro League, of course, so every point you can get is very important, especially early on. And as you can see, first place gets 81, second 71, third 61, fourth 51, down to 45, 40, 35, 30. Samsung Galaxy Con, kind of the biggest disappointment of this round. People, I feel like expecting them to do at least a bit better, not to get 8th behind Prime.
It really is a massive surprise. Obviously getting behind Prime. Prime not doing well at all this season. And even KT Rolster down there, man. Like, what's going on? That's also a big surprise. Obviously, might change next season now that Life is in the mix.
Man. I wonder if they may not even get first next round, man, with Life, the best Zerg in the world right now. I would not be surprised if it definitely pushes them up towards at least the top. And well, guys, here for the Pro League Round 1 Gold Challenger match, the grand finals here, we do have some events. Seems like with Ayul, you will have break time. And I guess she's giving out 300 Heroes Beta keys. Wow. So if you are here in the studio, you can, of course, participate in this and possibly join the Heroes Beta. Here's the Storm. It's definitely been very fun, and another giveaway down there. But guys, we're going to jump right into that interview with the two coaches.
기나긴 여정 끝에 오늘 드디어 결승전이 펼쳐집니다. 1라운드 결승전을 펼칠 SK텔레콤 T1 그리고 진에어 그린윙스 감독님을 만나보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
Finally, after a long journey,
안녕하세요.
we're at the finals. And let's speak to the two coaches.
잘하셨잖아요. 그렇죠? 신경전인가요? 초반부터?
아유, 친한데요.
아, 그래요? 굉장히 가식적이었어서 제가 굉장히 불편했어요.
You didn't say hey hi to each other at the start of this when you came into the studio today.
네,
And
봤습니다.
you said we're very friendly with each other.
그러면 진에어가
Did you-
진출했을 때 어떤 생각이 드셨어요?
Did you watch the playoffs? And you said yes, I did.
그러면서
왜죠?
걱정도 CJ가 이겼으면은 만약에 CJ가
He was relieved
아까 방금 전에 포인트
that
나왔잖아요.
Jin Air advanced today.
그랬을 때 좀 격차가 벌어지는데 오늘 만약에 저희가 준우승을 하더라도 포인트가 진에어와 똑같거든요.
And because they're in first
그래서
place,
장기적으로 1년씩
they have a
마무리할
very
때
high point
그래도
difference
좀
between both
더
teams.
도움이 되는 일이 되지
So we wanted
않을까
Jin Air to come
해서
up
진에어가 올라오길 기다렸는데
instead of
기다리고
CJ.
나니까 이제 올라오고 나니까 이제 실력 때문에 걱정이 들긴 했는데
네.
저희 선수들이 워낙 잘해서 신영이가 이제 저를 보고 웃고 있는데 자기만 믿어달라고 하는 것 같고요.
Our players are very strong.
부스 안에 있는
So even though Jin Air has a strong
다른
team,
친구들
we feel confident today.
서로 나가겠다고 난리
And
나서
Innovation is actually smiling at me.
4명 뽑느라고 좀 힘들었습니다.
And I think it means he wants me to
하도 좋은
trust him
선수가
today.
많아서 그렇죠?
아 그렇습니다.
네. 그러면 오늘 예상 스코어는 어떻게 되나요?
예상
Score
스코어는
prediction.
항상 뭐 저희가 1라운드 때 정규 게임에서도 애결 갔었고 뭐 저희는 항상
In the
저는
regular season,
뭐 항상 이제
we went to ace match.
항상 애결 생각하고
So I think it's going to be a close match
그래요?
today.
그러면
네.
진에어가 생각하는 오늘 예상 스코어.
뭐
Score prediction for the
예상
Jin Air
스코어가
coach.
사실 오늘은 별로 그렇게 의미가 없는 것 같고요. 저희는 4등으로
He says he doesn't think the score means anything today.
그래서 도전하는 그런 마음으로 준비를 했고요.
We
사실
came into the
저희보다
playoffs as the fourth place
SK
team.
부담이 더 많을 것 같아요.
So
왜냐하면
we are the challenger today.
국전 전승인데 이걸 어디까지 이어가고 싶은데 어떡하지?
And
올라갈
Innovation
수가
is
있고.
6-0.
비싸시는 건가요?
아니,
coming
아니,
into
아니,
today's
어떻게
match.
어떻게 신영이를 아우 큰일 났어. 아이고
혹시나
큰일 날.
해서요.
큰일 날.
So maybe we will be able to break that record
그다음에
today.
명우는 이제 뭐 개인 리그 다 떨어졌는데 프로리그를 잘해야 내가
He's talking about how dark is out of every individual league.
네, 지금 좀 뭔가 부담을 가지고 있을 거고.
And he's saying that maybe he's practicing a lot for Pro League instead, and that's why he dropped out.
저희가 부담은 더 없는 것 같아요. 그리고 숙소도 여기 역삼동 가깝잖아요. 저희 오는데
So he
2시간
feels
걸려요.
that SK Telecom is actually the team that feels a lot more pressure than Jin Air Groomings coming into this match.
이렇게 좋은 상황에서 부담감을 갖고 오늘 임하지 않을까 생각합니다. 저희는 도전입니다. 네, 도전하는 거라 별로 부담이 없습니다. 네.
지금 각 팀 감독님이
So he just reiterates that it feels like they are the challengers today, and they don't really feel any pressure. The pressure is all on SK Telecom.
근데 아까 전에 대기실에서 오늘 자신 있으시다고 하셨잖아요.
She says in the waiting room, he said that they had confidence today. She was talking to the coach.
자신은 있으시죠.
And he says, because we are a pro team, we should be confident coming into any match.
자신 있으시다고 하셨어요, 대기실에서.
저요?
그러셨잖아요, 아까.
He says, I think SK Telecom feels the same way.
그거 그냥 장난친 거고. 방금
He
굉장히
says,
진지하셨는데.
no, he's actually not confident today.
신영이 뭐 육순 전패인데
I was just playing with you.
하지 않을까 생각한다고 하는데 그 포스트 시즌 그 승패는 기록이 안 남아서 오늘 이기든 지든
So the Jin Air coach said
변함이 없다고
he wants to break
생각하고요.
Innovation's record,
그리고 뭐 오늘 신영이까지
but the match doesn't count in the playoffs.
중혁이가 좀
So the
자기가
record
자기
cannot be
인생
broken.
게임 하겠다고 자기 오늘 올킬에 한번 도전해 보겠다고 지금 욕심을 부리고 있어서
So Innovation
그런
told me
상황이라서
that he wants to
지금
all kill
방금
today.
차 감독님이 언급 안 된 선수가 중혁인
I don't think he'll get that
네.
chance.
중혁이가 아마 잘하지 않을까 생각합니다.
저는 더
And
많은
even
인터뷰를
though
하고
Jin Air
싶지만
coach didn't mention anything about
굉장히
Dream,
두 분
he
사이에서
feels that Dream
불편해요.
will do very well
네.
today.
좀
I
이따
must agree.
아유리와 함께하는 이벤트가 있을 예정입니다. 그러니까 끝까지 가시면 안 돼요. 그리고 초콜릿 안 받으신 분 오늘 여성분들께 안 받으신 분 제가 좀
She's
이따
asking,
드릴 테니까
there's an
좀
event
이따
later,
오세요. 네,
and
그러면
she's going to give
오늘
out
1라운드
chocolates
결승전
to anyone who hasn't
만나보겠습니다.
gotten them
중계 좀
yet.
나와주세요.
I guess that's the other event, so you can
네.
receive some chocolates.
Those lonely boys in the crowd that haven't got a Valentine's Day.
Yeah, there were a couple of
today.
them out there like, me, I want some chocolates. But it's one thing I found very interesting from that interview actually was how the SK Telecom coach was like, I was actually very happy that Jin Air got up here to the finals because it makes sense. They're in fourth place, they have less points. So for them to get up
That
is
is a
better
good
for
thing.
SK Telecom.
Yeah,
So
that is
now
a good
CJ
thing.
Antis and Jenner are closer and farther away from SK Telecom.
Yeah, but I mean, looking at the lineups as well, it is also kind of dangerous for SKT. Like to win the whole thing, like these guys, I think Jenner has the best chance of doing it. I mean, compared to StarTale-yoe. And the other team,
CJ
Antis. I definitely feel like these guys are the ones that can possibly do it, especially with Maru there.
Yeah. The one thing I'm kind of scared about for Jenner is, we talked about it a little bit before, but I feel like it holds a little bit more weight than people are really focusing on. Like, they didn't even talk about it in the interview, but Cure up against Dream. Cure went 5-2 in the regular season, round one rather. And he's up against a Terran first thing here. He didn't get to play any of his good matchups. He's not really, I don't really see him winning against Dream here.
No,
and that's going to take away a lot of their power.
Yeah, I completely agree with you with that. I don't see how Dream can lose to Cure at this point. Dream beating Maru 2-1 recently in Star League is just ridiculous. And now he's up against Cure, who's, I dare say, a lower tier Terran from the Jin Air, who specializes in TVZ.
Yeah. And the other part of this is also like Maru went down to Dream 1-2. And if you think about that, if you think about a possible ace match, a lot of people are saying Maru versus Innovation. Innovation is like a god. He's been playing so well in every single match, but it doesn't matter what he plays. Whereas Maru, he hasn't had the best success in TVT as of late.
Yeah, I mean, Dream is so dangerous right now. Dream could all kill, right?
Yeah,
he could actually all kill today.
That's kind of what they were saying in the interview. In fact, the coach. And taking a look at the predictions here, in terms of just guessing which team is going to win straight off the bat before any games have been played, all the foreigners do go for SKT. And it looks like the Monday caster as well as Kanata do go for Jin Air, whereas the analyst, I guess you can call him, Yude Hyun, does vote with us for SK Telecom.
Yeah, well, it's either way. It's going to be a very close match. I can think of 5 players from both teams that are dangerous and most likely will come out today. I mean, their lineups are just a little bit bigger than that, maybe 7 or 8 people here today for each team. But there's a lot of danger from both sides.
It definitely is, man. And look at just how many people are here in the studio today. The second floor is also packed. I hope we get a shot of that as well a little bit later on here. But let's take a look at our first player for SK Telecom T1. It is Dream in the booth tonight, guys. He's coming up first. He's 2-1 so far, but he's done ultra super well in the individual leagues. And this 2-1 doesn't really speak to his skill.
It doesn't say anything about Dream. He is the rising player of SKT, the rising star. His TVZ has been amazing. His TVT shocked us all when it beat Maru in recent times. He's beating the top 2 Terran in the world. He is so young. He's kind of come out of nowhere and he's been playing so well, and he's kind of come out at the right time because it is playoffs time, and he's starting for SKT. He can all kill today.
And coming over here, looking at the first player for Jin Air Green Wings, it is Cure. Like we said before, he was kind of carrying a lot of the weight for the Jin Air Green Wings. I think he actually has the best round 1 score out of any of these players. Unfortunately, as you do see there, his TVT is only 1-1. He hasn't shown us much of it, but I'm sure for his matchup up against Dream, he has practiced an incredible amount coming into this game.
That's right. He has beaten Sky High and lost to Yoda in TVT this season. Obviously, his other matchups are a bit stronger, specifically TVZ. So I'm coming into this a little curious about how this is going to go down, Valdez, because clearly it's not his best matchup.
Really curious about this. It looks like we're going to go to a bit of a VCR or CG before we get into the game, guys. It's going to be Dream versus Cure. Down here in the bottom right, in the red, for the SK Telecom T1, it is Dream.
And up here in the top right, it is Jin Air Green Wings Cure. Got it.
You got it there, Moonglade. And sorry, guys, we didn't actually have a CG. It looks like we were just jumping straight into the game. We might have a bit of a VCR a little bit later on in the series, possibly.
Just maybe. And you know what? Let's talk about Dream first, because Dream has been the one that's been impressing everyone in recent times. He's the one that beat Maru. And this is definitely Dream's kind of map, because his style is so based around the dropping, specifically the 2 medivac drops he likes to do in like the early mid-game once it comes out. And he's always looking for the picks with the marine tanks, and he's looking for those positions. when he drops into the main base. And that's how he took apart Maru after playing a kind of like a defensive early game against Maru's super aggressive Banshee style. And let's see what Kira is going to do against that kind of thing, because clearly he's had a lot of time to prepare for it. And Maru, his teammate, is the one that suffered to it. So there should be something in place to deal with it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I'm glad you mentioned that. They have so much information on Dream's TVT. In fact, just getting a look at that individual result against Maru, that's like the best point. So I'm sure that Cure has something up his sleeve. It looks like he's going to go for gas first here. That is a bit of a start to the series here, whereas Dream already has his gas a bit earlier.
Yeah, just a little bit earlier, but yeah, both players getting gas very early on this map. It is a very aggressive map for it. You do see a lot of gas first because the dropping is there's so much potential for dropping on this map, and a lot of damage can be done early.
Dream, I feel like, was almost the no-brainer coming onto this map for SK Telecom. Like you were saying, that kind of drop style on this map is... I don't think there is a better map in the pool for it. I mean, King Sejong is quite nice for it as well. I guess Foxtrot is decent, but Catallena just has so many hills, so many ways to abuse the positioning of your opponent. And I'm not sure about the cure pick out of Generic Green Wings. So you said they were possibly thinking that Dark was going to come out.
Yeah, I definitely think it must have been an attempt to snipe Dark. Clearly, obviously, Dark hasn't been playing his best in recent times, but he would possibly come out on this map maybe to shake things up a little bit. And the second map is going to be Overgrowth, third map Deadwing, fourth map Foxtrot. It's not horrible for Zerg to kind of progress through these maps if he's playing well. Obviously, the only danger is going to be Catallena if a Terran gets on it. And I think SKT thought about this, and they have this spare sort of monster of a Terran player right now with Dream, who's just playing so fantastically. And then they got an even bigger beast behind him with Innovation if they need a Terran later on. So they're like, you know what, let's give Dream a chance. He's on top of his game right now. He's already taken out their ace in individual leagues. Let's show him today.
Yeah, very well put, Moonblade. And going back into this game, we do have double gas here, taking 4 cures, so you're probably going to see Banshees coming out of this guy. Whereas for Dream, just only 1 gas. It was taken slightly earlier. And he's still going to be able to get that starport, but he's going to have a lot of Marines coming out here. Maybe want to go for a bit of an early drop, possibly with the medevac. And possibly some Hellions as well. We already see 1 popping out there. 1 coming out here for Cure as well. But as we already see that Tech Lab coming here on the barracks, most likely going to be a swap with that starport and probably going to be Banshees.
Yeah, we're seeing a very similar style to what Maru did against Dream, actually. Going for that early Banshee. And let's see how much Cure will commit to these Banshee harassment throughout the game. As we see a bit of Hellion harassment, fighting in the middle. Going to really get nothing done from either side. And we are going to definitely see a drop from Dream early on, which is pretty standard in him, by him. We've seen it again and again. We know it's his bread and butter. He loves to do it.
Yeah,
what Vegemite on toast.
Pretty much, man. What do you think about this? He's going for a Viking first before he swaps with the Tech Lab. Just playing it a bit safer. I guess this is going to help with pushing away the medevac out of his base.
Yeah, that's going to help tremendously, actually. It's going to help out spotting. It's going to help out harassing it down. And it's a great kind of play against what he knows. Obviously, he knows Dream does this. It's what Dream's done. It's pretty much what he only did against Maru to make things work. So he's going to go into a Raven as well. So he's just going to be playing defensively, essentially.
That he will. And here's this first push. Let's see how much damage it can get done. Already Kira's got 3 Hellions, a Reaper, and 1 Marine. But right now, Dream's got a much bigger force up here on the high ground. Already going to take out 1 supply depot, already getting some damage done, but look at that medevac. The health is getting really low already. That Viking getting some work done, but a lot of Marines out here for Dream.
Oh.
It's going to be able to push that away.
Well, here's the big problem. We are actually already seeing 8 SCVs go down in the first game. Seems like Kuro was a little unprepared for a drop this early on. He's going to clean it up, but man, that's 9 SCVs gone down in the first 7 minutes, Valdez.
Yeah, that's a huge blow. Although Kure does keep most of his army alive, so I guess that is the trade-off here. He's going to go straight into Cloaked Banshees. He's already got that Raven out here as well. And I'm not sure if he actually revealed that Raven in the fight. Did you actually see if he saw that?
I'm not sure. I didn't get a quick look. Because he is over the kind of like the left side behind the refinery, trying to get as many SCVs as he could. I don't know if he was actually paying attention to if the Raven came out.
He was able to see the tech lab on the starport, so he knows that some kind of heavy tech unit is going to be coming out of that starport, either the Raven or the Banshees. Yeah. So regardless, we do see both players kind of putting down their CCs around the same time, although the one for Kure is down there on the low ground, so he's going to get a small advantage from there, although it may be delayed with this drop that's coming in.
Yeah, it just might be actually. There's nothing really to defend it, but if these 3 Hellions go into the main base, they can do a lot of SCV damage. And we do see also a very nicely timed missile turret for Dream. But this is the biggest problem, this push at the main ramp.
It's a pretty big push. Even that auto turret getting some damage down, but 3 Hellions in the main, then there's nothing to defend against it. He's not even pulling his SCVs here. Now he's finally going to, but the Hellions are still alive, getting more and more kills.
There's only 2 Marines here to kind of help out. And look at that, they're all lined up. They could actually get shot apart. 6 gone down, and we actually see Cure turn around with his army. This is horrible. He's completely falling apart already, Valdez.
He's completely falling apart. He's even going to pick up here and try to boost in and get even more kills. All those SCVs bunching up once again.
Oh my
going
God.
up to 12 total kills. And he may even be able to get out of there with his medevac alive.
12 SCVs remain for Cure at this point. No damage done to Dream. Dream is sitting pretty right now.
Yeah, this Banshee has to do an incredible amount of damage, but already a missile turret is up. He may be able to possibly delay that CC from being built, but that looks like it's about it. Scan going to come down here with 3 Vikings, going to easily be able to take it out. And that is so much tech that he did go into, not really getting any damage done. Another Banshee does come in here, but now it's flying in range of that missile turret. It's not going to get nearly as much damage done. It has got 3 SCVs here in total.
It's just not enough at this point. I mean, this commitment to Banshees is really not finding anything. And with 3 Vikings there, it's going to be hard-pressed to really find any more kills. We are seeing the Raven come around the back as well, looking to throw down a turret.
Yeah, a bit of a desperate harass at this point. I mean, it is going to do a little bit of damage here.
Well, it's going to cost him the Raven as well if these Vikings are microed.
Yeah, and it should. This one Viking's going to get the job done. That other one kind of slacking off, but it doesn't matter. Raven does go down.
That is another huge blow for 2 SCVs. You're losing such an expensive unit like that. Not really finding anything. And Cure is kind of stabilized for now. He's on 23 Harvesters to the 24 of Dream. So Dream hasn't really been making any SCVs during this time. And he has been losing a few as well, which kind of helped out. Cure kind of caught up. And he's got a bit of a supply lead at this point too, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I wonder how that actually came about. I guess, like you said before, a little bit of harass. And just a little bit of a loss of focus possibly here by Dream as he was being harassed, trying to drop at the same time as well.
He didn't take that much damage, which is the interesting thing. So I kind of wonder, how did it happen? Was his CC just a little too far behind? Did he forget to make it into an orbital early enough? And Cure just kind of caught up pretty quickly and took the supply lead, despite taking that insane critical damage early on.
Now the Banshee flying in here once again, looking to get more kills. It's already going to get 2, it looks like. Maybe even some Marines. Does get 1 there. Waiting on that scan here is Dream, possibly. Going to get to work on that stim. The stim nearly complete, but the scan will come down. And the Banshee should go down as well. It's going to be pretty close, actually. Oh, it does go down just barely there on the edge of the scan. So nicely done. And a drop coming in here, looking to cancel that stim.
That'd be a big cancel, but with the tank there, I do not see it happening. He's trying his best, though. He's committing to it. Ooh, very close.
Well, he made it burn. I guess he'll force the repair, but that's about it.
Yeah, down to 60 HP before it got repaired.
Stim did finish here for Dream. So that is one thing to note. Looks like one of these players just had the +1 nearly complete here. That is Dream, whereas Cure is only starting it now. So we were talking about supplies. They definitely could come into effect, but also those upgrades going to be in favor of Dream.
Yeah, it's really the Banshees and the Hellions for Cure that is giving him the advantage right now. He's up in about 10 supply, 12 supply. He's got the same tank count, similar Marine count, maybe a little bit more now. But mostly those Hellions and those 2 Banshees that are kind of making things a little uneven.
Taking a look at both of these bases, looks like the Natural is just a bit more, has a bit more SCVs there. And Cure now moving on the map with a bunch of his Marines, possibly looking to pick off some medevacs possibly out on the map. Some of these Hellions getting a little bit too far forward. That one surviving with 4 health. And Dream looking to make something work, but looking at Marine counts right now, Cure looks like he's a bit better with the macro. We do see a little bit of the delay on the Marines being made there. And he does have the heavier Marine count here, 35 to 23.
Yeah, he's definitely pulling ahead, and I'm kind of getting worried because this counterattack from Cura is coming across the map completely undetected. That's a lot of Marines. If they just ran into the natural, they sack it essentially. And we still have a couple tanks set up for Cura in these natural.
Yeah, man, is there anything for defense here at the front of Dream's base? He's going to scan. There's absolutely nothing. And running up here into the natural. I wonder what he'll go for. It looks like just for the SCVs right away. Some Marines are trying to defend here. Now forced to fight with some SCVs, losing up to 23 already. And Dream looking for a drop, but Cura's totally safe.
He's looking for a way, and he's going to choose the front door. He's going to be taking those tank hits. Still a lot of bio coming down, and this is not enough.
It's going to get totally cleaned up. Looks like Cure takes an unbelievable lead in this game now. The natural not even mining for Dream. And he pulls off a very nice defense, although he does lose a lot of SCVs himself, does lose 18 of them. But the biggest thing here, I guess, you can look at is the tank count for Dream. He's already up 4 tanks, although Dream does have the heavier medevac counts. But again, it really does come down to those workers. Behind 10 is Dream at this point. When you're on 2 base, you're going to want full saturation at both bases. Cure is closer.
He is closer, and yeah, it's 6 tanks to 1. Dream with that 1 tank, and it's not even going to be at the natural. It's going to be in this Doom drop that's coming across the map. And once again, we're seeing Cure get the better sort of end of this trade. He's simply moving across the map, avoiding detection, and just sacking the natural again. And we still see, this time we don't see much of a defense for Cure. He does have a tank in the main base with a lot of bio, but his natural could very well go down this time.
Yep, Dream's going to totally sack this natural. The orbital is going to go down. He's going to try to push up the ramp here. He's got a very nice position at the bottom of the ramp with all of those tanks as well. And here comes that Dream drop coming into the main. Going to try to fight against 2 sieged up tanks as well as a bunch of Marines. And it doesn't look like this is going to be able to do much damage at all. Dream already looking sad in that booth. Cura's done it. GG. He takes game number 1 against Dream.
Already shaking things up. I did not expect that, but he did his homework. He looked completely prepared for what Dream had coming his way, especially with those drops. Always having just enough at home to kind of deal with them. And man, already, Jin Air off to a great start.
That's, I'm glad you said it there. I wasn't expecting it at all either. Cure really putting on a great performance. There's a reason this guy is playing extremely well. It's because he's a well-practiced player. He came out with the perfect play here against Dream. He took a little bit of early disadvantages, but his backer was on points. This guy is very, very strong.
Yeah, I feel bad because I hyped Dream so much. I thought it was in the bag, man, but I got completely blindsided by this. Just the preparation, for this best of ones can come into play. They can really make the big difference here, and Jin really took advantage of the games they saw recently of Dream. They knew his style. They knew he would probably play the same way because he did it against Maru 3 times. And just great sort of positioning, maneuvering from Cure to get into that natural initially and almost kill it. Then come back a second time the same way and end it.
Yeah, looked like Cure totally had Dream figured out. Those counterattacks, man, they were so brutal. And this leaves SKT in a bit of a weird spot. Do you put out Dark on possibly Overgrowth against Cure? Cure is, like you were saying before, an incredible TVZ player, whereas Dark has been struggling recently.
He has been struggling, and specifically he's been struggling in ZVT. So do they really want him to come out against this kind of player? I mean, Overgrowth, not a bad map at all for a Zerg. What else could they throw at him right now is the other question. I mean, they got Sue, they got Innovation, and they got Classic, which I think is the 4 picks they have for this guy. Obviously, they don't want to use Innovation just yet. I don't know if they can use Sue.